Hi there, I'm Courtney. Welcome to the studio. Today I'm going to be showing you how to prepare your beanbag to get it ready for your baby so that you don't have to worry about wrinkles. Okay, so the first thing that I usually do, I have a little no-slip rubber backing, and I usually put that down on the beanbag. Now you want your beanbag full. I actually need to stuff this a little more because you want it nice and firm. But the way that we're going to prep it today, if it's not exactly firm, this will kind of help. So I'm starting with this quilt. This is just an old quilt that I had. I used to use it for sessions, but not really so much anymore. So I have it folded actually in half. I have it folded in fourths. So this is basically just going to kind of keep your beanbag weighted. And with each layer, you really want to go and pull each layer nice and taut and tight before putting on the next blanket to keep those wrinkles out. I have a couple of these blankets. These are just cheap micro fleece blankets. I think I picked them up at Walmart a while back. Like I said, I've had them a while. But again, I'm just going to layer and pull tight. The secret here is you want lots of layers. The more layers, the better, because that is going to keep your fabric from bunching up under the baby, as well as when you go in and put your stuffers like your cloth diapers or any of your little rice bag posing pillows or whatever, it's not going to show through the blankets. So the more I don't know if you could have too much, to be honest with you. And I like using these because they are a little thicker. Again, this is just micro fleece. This one's a little bit bigger. So I have it folded in half. And again, I'm pulling tight, kind of putting my hand where baby would be, and then pulling around that so that I can make sure it's nice and smoothed out for baby. I don't worry so much in the back because again, my fabric's going to come up, so this part's not really going to show. I'm just making sure that it's nice and tight. So that is now, that's now the quilt in 1, 2, 3, 4, but 3 out of the 4 of these are doubled, folded in half. If you wanted to put more, you absolutely could. And then I have this. This is a tablecloth. I picked it up at Target, I think, a while back. I like using this because it is nice and long, and I also like using it because it's going to block any light that may bleed through underneath here. So I do recommend that you have something that's going to go over the back so that you don't have that light bleed. Okay, so now once I have this all ready, I'm ready to start clamping. I picked up a bag of these clamps. You can get them at Lowe's or Home Depot. They come in a little bag of them. They have, some small ones all the way up to some really big ones. I typically use the medium to small. The bigger ones I use for other things around the studio, but for this I typically use the small to medium size. So I'm going to grab a couple, and I am going to even out this fabric. Now I want it so that it's nice and tight and it's coming up off the beanbag. If it's still on the beanbag all the way, it's not tight enough, so make it tighter. That's the key here, nice and tight. Now it's not exactly centered, so I'm going to pull it this way just a little. And then I need to adjust the bottom so it doesn't have this pull here. So I'm just going to lift and readjust. So that again, I have that nice gradual slope. It's not going straight up. Baby's here. It's going, like I said, probably around a 45-degree angle back to the backdrop. So once I have those on the back, I'm also going to get the sides. Again, pulling nice and tight. My goal is that my fabric usually isn't touching much of the beanbag. And one of the things I like about doing the legs the way that I did them is that they can be adjusted a little bit. So if it's not quite tight enough, I can just kind of pull back on that leg a little. Alright, so now we have our underdrop ready. We are ready to start putting on our posing fabric. Okay, as you can see, we have a lot of different posing fabrics to choose from. However, today I'm using this. This is a jersey sheet, jersey knit sheet from Walmart that I picked up again. Thought I would use it just to show you, you don't have to have something fancy to do newborn photography. I know starting out I didn't have a lot of money to spend, so I always like giving little tips and secrets on how to save money. So again, this is just a twin size jersey knit sheet that I picked up from Walmart, and that's what we're going to be using today. Okay, so we have our sheet here, and I am just going to kind of lay it out. Again, I don't want it overlapping the front too much because I want to be able to get in there without a lot of fuss and muss to be able to do my stuffers underneath. So I'm going to kind of try to find the center and lay it out kind of over the front. And then we're just going to, again, like we did this bottom layer, we're going to make sure it's pulled nice and tight. I'm going to kind of get it in position first. Alright, now I'm going to start clamping. So I'm holding this underneath fabric and then just pulling this up nice and tight and clamping it down. Same with the front. Holding the white, pulling this nice and tight. Holding the white, pulling that top nice and tight. And again, you can see my fabric is hardly touching my beanbag. It's because when we put baby down, baby's going to weigh it down. Want that as tight as you can get it. And again, this is going to cut down on any wrinkles that you have once you do put baby down. I'm going to grab a couple more to put on the sides right here. Alright, so there we are ready for baby. Again, baby's going to go right about here. And you can tell when I'm pushing down, I'm not getting those wrinkles around my hand. That's because we have so many layers underneath that it's not showing those wrinkles. So I kind of make my little well. Make sure I have all of it smoothed out. And then as I am shooting, I will kind of pull the front of this just to kind of give it a nice clean look at the front as well. Okay, so last little tip, I use these cloth diapers. I got them in a pack of 10, I believe, for pretty cheap. So the way I use them is I'll take them and I will fold them so that they're kind of in a rectangle like this. Now, when I go and I am working with a baby and I'm putting these under either their head or bottom, the best way to do that now, I don't know if you can see this. If I go under one, you're going to see where that little lump is exactly. And that's why, again, it's important to have so many layers, because now I'm going to go down. Now, we put that quilt on first. I'm not going to go under the quilt. I'm going to go right on top of this quilt with my bump. And when I put it in, it's nice and smooth and you don't see where the edges are. So that's why it's so important to have so many layers and some thick layers, That way whenever you are getting ready for baby and you're putting those little stuffers in, you aren't going to see those.